This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has overseen drills simulating a nuclear counterattack against the US and South Korea in a warning to the allies who are scaling up their joint military exercises. State media KCNA said on Monday the North's drill involved a short-range missile launch, but unusually, the missile flew from a buried silo, which analysts say would help improve speed and stability in future tests of intercontinental ballistic missiles (ICBM). KCNA said the exercises on Saturday and Sunday were designed to boost the country's, in quotes, war deterrence and nuclear counterattack capability, accusing Washington and Seoul of making an explicit attempt to unleash a war against it. In the exercises, a ballistic missile equipped with a mock nuclear warhead flew 800 kilometers before hitting a target under the scenario of a tactical nuclear attack, KCNA said. KCNA photos showed Kim attended the test again with his young daughter as flames roared from the soaring missile before it hit the target. Analysts said the photos suggested a launch involved a KN-23 short-range ballistic missile (SRBM), but unlike past tests, the engine exhaust appeared to be vented either side at the moment of liftoff, which could mean that a silo was used. Russian President Vladimir Putin will expect Chinese President Xi Jinping to show solidarity against Western hegemony when he arrives in Moscow on Monday, while Xi will present China as a global peacemaker intent on brokering an end to the Ukraine war. Xi will be the first world leader to shake Putin's hand since the International Criminal Court (ICC) issued an arrest warrant for the Russian leader on Friday over the deportation of Ukrainian children to Russia since the start of the war. Moscow rejects the charge. Russia will present Xi's trip, his first since securing an unprecedented third term this month, as evidence that it has a powerful friend prepared to stand with it against a hostile West that it says is trying to isolate and defeat it. For Xi, the visit will be a diplomatic tightrope, with China releasing a 12-point proposal to solve the Ukraine crisis, but at the same time strengthening ties with its ally. In an article published at the beginning of his visit to Moscow, Xi said China's proposal, which was released last month, reflects global views and seeks to neutralize consequences, but acknowledged that solutions are not easy. Thailand's King Maha Vajiralongkorn has endorsed a decree to dissolve parliament, according to an announcement in the Royal Gazette, paving the way for elections in May. An election must be held 45 to 60 days after the House dissolution, which takes effect immediately. An election date has yet to be announced, but Deputy Prime Minister Wisanukre Ngam earlier in the day said it would likely be held on May 14th if the House were dissolved on Monday. The election is the second since the 2014 coup and the first since the country was struck by massive youth-led pro-democracy protests in Bangkok in 2020. This is expected to showcase a long-running political battle between the billionaire Shinawatra family and the country's conservative pro-military establishment. Paetongtarn Shinawatra, the daughter and niece respectively of overthrown former premiers Thaksin and Yingluck Shinawatra, is the frontrunner to be prime minister in opinion surveys, with her support jumping 10 points to 38.2% in a poll released at the weekend. A Russian court on Monday froze all Volkswagen assets in Russia, court documents seen by journalists showed. Volkswagen was one of a string of foreign car makers that suspended operations in Russia after Western countries imposed unprecedented sanctions on Moscow over the conflict in Ukraine. Russian auto manufacturer GAZ, which was contracted to produce Volkswagen vehicles at its factory in Nizhny Novgorod, had sued the German car maker for breach of contract after Volkswagen terminated the agreement in August. GAZ estimated its losses from the terminated contract at almost 16 billion rubles. Volkswagen is attempting to sell its flagship Russian factory in Kaluga, south of Moscow. The plant, which has a capacity of 225,000 vehicles a year, has been furloughed since March 2022. Bitcoin climbed to a 9-month high on Monday as turmoil in the banking sector drives some investors to turn to digital assets as cryptocurrency built on its best week in 4 years. The biggest cryptocurrency rose as far as $28,567, its highest since mid-June, and was last up 0.9% amid growing expectations that central banks would slow the pace of interest rate hikes. Bitcoin rose 26% last week, its best weekly gain since April 2019, and has soared some 40% in 10 days as turmoil in the banking sector rippled around the globe, culminating so far in UBS Group's takeover of rival Credit Suisse Group AG over the weekend. Traditional assets such as banking stocks and bonds plummeted on Monday after UBS sealed its state-backed takeover of Credit Suisse, a deal orchestrated in an attempt to restore confidence in a battered sector. Top central banks, faced with the risk of a fast-moving loss of confidence in the stability of the financial system, moved on Sunday to bolster the flow of cash around the world. Such a global response has not been seen since the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Other market players predicted that Bitcoin would benefit from central bank efforts to bolster liquidity in the global financial system. It rose to a record of $69,000 in November 2021 after central banks and governments launched unprecedented monetary and fiscal stimulus measures. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy New Week!